Awesome. Okay. Okay. We're fucking live. Let's just wait for chat to fill up a bit, and then we'll start. Awesome. Ooh, I'm excited. Why I want to show how many people are looking at my stream right now? It's a bit annoying. Ah, okay, now. We're 2 people. Hey, yo, guys. Ready, checked in. So I'm gonna do a bit of multitasking right here because, like, I don't have 2 monitors, so I can't just swoosh around with my mouse instantly. So I gotta do the other stuff with my tablet, basically. And I gotta get to the habit of like looking at you guys, otherwise this will get a bit awkward. You know what? I'll actually just close Streamlabs. Like completely close it, but make it smaller so I won't look at my face all the time. Because like it doesn't show viewers correctly anyways, and I can check the chat with my tablet, so I guess that'll be alright. So let's just wait for some more people to join up and then we'll start. Not quite sure who else wants to come. So let's just wait a bit and we'll see. Alright, alright. So I actually, okay, we're becoming more people, alright. So I actually talked to you a lot about what you guys wanted me to mention exactly, because it's a bit hard for people who have like established routines, who know what to do, who know how to be efficient, stuff like that, to like cover everything because it's a lot, and small important things can get lost on the way. So I just wanted to ask you, and that way I can also like go into the things you want to know specifically a bit better, a bit more in detail, and maybe like go around 1 or 2 coaching sessions you basically have to have with me. So I guess that'll be alright. This is my final layout, by the way. Um, I'll change it around a bit. I'll create logo and stuff like that, but I don't have the time for that right now. So please be patient with me. Yeah, is the sound alright? Is the video quality alright? I can't hear myself right now, so I'm kind of relying on you guys. You should also have a stream window up there. Am I showing that correctly? Wait. Yes. Like right here. So if you don't want to talk, then you should see yourself. That way, like you won't only have my face, and some more stuff will be going on. All right. So I guess let's just start. So I have a whole bucket list right here, a whole list of things we're gonna talk about. All right, awesome. And yeah, I basically wrote some stuff down. I didn't prepare too much because school stuff came into like gone to the way, but we'll manage. We'll manage. And I highly encourage you to stay because this is important and you don't want to miss this. And yeah, I think we'll just get into it. Also, please share this on. Yay! I'm guessing that's Biscuit. Wait, let me check Streamlabs. Yay! You're awesome, man. So basically, I want you to share this because doing this whole huge thing for 2 people is a bit sad, or 1 person right now. I don't know if Streamlabs is flying there. So share it. More views, better content, more money, stuff like that. Alright, so let's just start. The way I'm planning to do this is basically by basically going through the process of someone who's struggling currently with a matchup that, let's just say, I don't know, Palutena, something simple, and we'll kind of go through how you learn that, how you can practice in general, and yeah, let's just get right into it. With 3 people right now, let's keep them, right? So basically, it's a bit hard to know where to start. if someone tells you, yo, okay, start practicing, like, what do you do? So it's important to understand that there are two different ways, or not two, but actually three different ways you can practice. There's solo practice, which you do usually offline. That's stuff like combos, labbing, etc. There's stuff like just playing in general, where you gotta apply things. Wait, I'm gonna close down Streamlabs again. Where you're okay. So one thing I'm noticing, by the way, you can't see the chat. Let me just. Okay, I don't get why that's not working, but okay, I gotta check that. Well, but basically, oh fuck, with 6 people, holy shit! Hello guys, welcome. So yeah, there's solo practice, there's practice with other people, and there is analysis. I'm putting that a bit separate because it's a tad different, and I should actually mention it like separately. With 7 people, holy shit, I've never had that many viewers like at once. Thank you guys. So the easiest thing to start off with is solo practice. That's easy. You know your character, at least you should know your character. You know where you struggle at combo wise, where you struggle at with things like getting out of other combos, etc. And you should probably also know which tech your character has. These are things you can just find out by looking into like your character discords, by looking at YouTube, by looking at Google, whatever. And you can basically find out what like practical stuff you can work on right there. Doing this is actually super simple. You just go into training mode. You you start basically like you start up at some kind of percentage, get some kind of opponent, and you just practice your bread and butters. You practice new combos that people might have found, etc., etc. You just build muscle memory. Okay, and this actually leads to the first big thing. There is something called the Pomodoro Technique. So let's actually start a bit back because that was just for the name basically. What many of you will probably know, if you start playing 1 hour, if you start playing 2 hours, 3 hours even, you get really tired. And that's totally normal. And a big misconception there is out there is that you have to play a lot to kind of build up your like your mental capacity, basically, your mental stamina, so you can play for longer. That isn't true. You literally can't improve that. You gotta basically think about it like literally, I don't know, fucking mana from a random game that basically uses mana for magic. You have your set amount of mana, you have your set amount of mental energy, and you can spend that. It will regenerate, but you can't increase that cap basically. Because like you can't find random shit that basically increases your mana, right? So you're kind of set with what's given to you. And we do know that people, like better people, that top players can play for longer than like mid or low level players. Now the reason for that is not because the mental capacity they have is higher than ours. It's pretty much the same for everyone. But instead, they play a lot more in general. But what does that exactly have to do with like your cap? Well, nothing. We already established that. But the side effect of playing a lot is you know a lot of situations, you get a lot of time to practice all your things, and you get a lot more experience with matchups and things like that. That means you gotta think way less about everything basically, because you can basically do most things on autopilot already. So that is just because it basically becomes the game of you notice something, you remember that you already won the situation, and then you basically just do everything. You basically play out the situation correctly or as well as possible, without thinking much because you've already experienced it so much. That's why they can play for longer. But there's a little trick you can do, which everyone should use, called the Pomodoro Technique, as I said before, which kind of lets you play for longer. Because we have a huge problem. Humans are actually stamina-wise fucking we're fucking useless basically. If you really focus, you can focus for 25 minutes, and then you're past your peak. your like mental peak is basically around 20 minutes of doing something. Like if you do it without pause. Afterwards, you start you basically start getting diminishing returns, and you'll have a harder time thinking. You'll think a bit slower, etc., etc. And it's basically like a curve that slowly goes down. It gets steeper and steeper. So that curve starts after a third of an hour. And now picture you playing for 3 hours. You'll be at rock bottom by then, basically. This is not efficient practice, what you're doing, because you literally can't think anymore. Don't do that. Instead, do the Pomodoro. That is 25 minutes of gameplay or analysis or whatever you're doing, basically, and then taking a 5-minute break. You're basically abusing your sort of peak mental energy because you need some time to get into what you're doing first. Between like 15 and 25 minutes, you're fully using that. Hey, I got a follow. Thanks. Thanks, Cheese Man. I appreciate it. Awesome. And you basically play for 25 minutes. Then when your curve basically starts going down again, you take a break. This break is only 5 minutes long. So 25 minutes of play, then 5 minutes break. That is simply to basically allow your mind to process everything, to like make room for new thoughts, for new like ways of adapting, and then you can play again. Just 5 minutes. That's literally it. So basically, when you play for half an hour, take at least a 5-minute break. You can like basically the goal is to not think about the game that much in that time frame, basically, to fully let your mind rest, and then you can continue. Then you can play another 25 minutes, and you just do that like on repeat. That way, and this is important, you won't stop your curve from going downwards, because doing something just wastes energy. Like no matter what you do, you'll waste energy, and if you do it for too long, you won't have energy to do it anymore. But you will basically halt the steepness of the curve, and when you play again, you have a little peak again, and then it goes down again. And before it goes down too steeply, you take the next break, and you basically get to play for longer because you basically reset your curve a little bit. That is extremely efficient. If you played for, let's say, if you played for 2 hours, or let's say 2.5 hours actually, you basically have 2 Pomodoro breaks, no, 3 Pomodoro breaks, so the 5-minute ones, and then one 15-minute break, because every fourth break is longer, basically. So you do 25 minutes of play, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes of play, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes of play, 5 minutes break, and then after the next 25 minutes you do between 15 and 20 minutes, because otherwise the 5-minute break won't be enough. You'll basically have spent around 25 minutes or 30 minutes doing a break, and 2 hours playing in 2.5 hours time. And that is actually way, 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 way more efficient than playing that half an hour extra, basically. And you just gotta believe me on that one. You can try it out yourself, but you do gotta do the pauses, of course, and you do gotta do full 5 minutes. But in the end, you'll be able to play at your maximum for longer than if you would just like fully power through the entire time. And it's basically just less is more. So to get back to the actual topic, when you practice combos, this is super important. If you mess up your combos constantly, you should take a break, because otherwise you'll build bad muscle memory. That is basically the only catch you have when looking at like when we're looking at solo practice, combo practice, recovering, stuff like that, because the only thing you can fuck up is building bad muscle memory by constantly doing the wrong input. So my tip is, if you actually fuck up all the time, just put your controller down, just take a breather, like get something to drink. Drinking is super important actually, and just take it slow, and then try again. You want to get more and more proficient at what you're doing instead of reverse. If you're going the other way, basically, you should really take a break. Otherwise, it'll be worse than if you wouldn't practice at some point, basically. That is solo practice. Now comes the interesting part. Practicing with other people and labbing, like labbing as a whole. And I want to start out with labbing because there's a certain circle, like, oh, not a circle, a cycle you should follow when you're trying to improve. Now, I actually can't write this down right now because the plan is to like get some kind of glass wall behind me, which I can like, you know, turn, and then I can draw stuff on that with a marker or stuff like that. But as you can see, I don't have one, so you'll have to make notes for now. And that's by the way my next point, to make notes. But basically, you start off seeing a problem. Then you gotta find out how to fix that problem. Of course, if you have a hole in your roof, you don't just go up there with a hammer and try to fix it somehow. No, you gotta get wood first. You gotta get like new roof tiles first, stuff like that. Yo, thanks for the follow. That's Crab King. Thank you, man. You're fucking awesome. But yeah, you gotta prepare first. That's the second step. The third step is you actually test out if what you prepared worked. You don't just say, ah, okay, there's stuff on there's like toilet paper and some chewing gum on my roof now. This will work, and like go and just don't look at it again. And then next time your house is flooded, basically. No, you like when it rains the next time you gotta check and you see, oh fuck, okay, this doesn't work. Then you go back to preparing again because this shows you have prepared correctly. And this goes on until you actually solve the problem. If you solve that problem, you can go looking for the next one. So to reiterate, oh fucking hell, we got 9 people. Thanks, guys. This is actually my high score so far. So basically, you find a problem, you work out, like you work on a solution. Ah, okay, okay, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you, Biscuit. Yeah, that's alright. That's alright. You just gotta type more, guys. You just gotta type more. So you got. Wait. You find a problem. You like think about how you could fix that problem, and then you try to implement that. And then if that was successful, you try to go like for the next one. If step 3 doesn't work, if you can't implement it correctly, if something doesn't work out, you gotta go back to step 2. In this step 2. Hey yo, hey Dire, thank you for checking out the stream, man. If you do skip step 2, you'll again have the same problem as in solo practice, because you're basically Hail Marying it, and if it doesn't work out, you might literally do more bad things than you would do good things if you would just spend that 1 or 2 hours max actually labbing this stuff. Now, where a lot of you are currently stuck at, which I know from experience, is you don't know where to start with step 1. If you don't have step 1, you of course can't improve your gameplay, right? We got fucking 10 people, double digits for the first time. Woo! If you don't have 10, if you don't know where you should start with step 1, that's a pretty simple trick. VOD review, and I'm not talking about like doing in-depth analysis with like talking about like 1 minute of gameplay for 10 hours or something like that. No, you just look at your gameplay. Your replay is something from like recent times where you lost. That's important. Then you literally, and that's something everybody can do, you can't convince me of that, you literally go and count wherever you got hit. Say by what you got hit and how much damage you took. These 3 things. When did you get hit? How? And how much damage? That way, first of all, you'll learn how to like what to avoid. Let's say if you're fighting Peach and you constantly get hit by like random far range like turnips, who cares? That's not a lot of damage. If you always get hit by Ness, that's something you should work on sooner rather than later, right? Because those lead to 80%. If you know by what you got hit, then, or not what, by what, where you got hit, then you can start thinking back, how did that situation occur in the first place? And this is important. And this is where some of you can get stuck in. And that's when you can basically just write it down, count the different situations, and literally like, I don't know, make a list or something like that, and count why, and then like explain why you got hit. That's basically the third step. And try to go as far with the explanation as possible. Always ask why. If you got the next answer, ask why. And at some point, you'll basically come back to one mistake you made. Usually, if you can't do that, then give that list to a coach. Give that list to me. I don't know. Give it to someone on my Smash corner, my Smash coach, and they can help you out. And you just do that, and you get a list of things you objectively did wrong, basically, and then you can interpret why you do that. For example, let's say you always run to people like into math side B. Just random example. Why might you run to his side B? Well, let's look at the move itself. It's long lasting. It has a lot of hits, a lot of mix ups, but you don't go like far. Like you can't really run at people while doing the move, right? As Math or as Lucina. So you probably like you ran into it. So that might be why, like, you might be too aggressive because the move is supposed to stop movement towards the opponent, right? So you're probably too aggressive. But why are you too aggressive? So Math and Lucina don't really have projectiles, so it's not because you're like super pressured or anything. Maybe then it's maybe because you can't really like you don't really have a feel for when you should go in, which might lead to your footsies being bad, for example, and so on and so forth. And at some point, you get one thing you can work on, one super clear thing, and that goes into your notes, which you should have. If you don't have notes, you're gonna get in trouble. And actually, wait, one note, there it is. So let me just change that up real quick. Okay, big question. I'll check on stream. Did the scene change? Yes, it works. All right, awesome. So, my hair looks messy. So might be a spot specific. There it is. Oh no. Okay, I gotta do it differently. Let's just swap to my BS. You're seeing into infinity. These are my notes. You are seeing my notes currently. And I have a list, which is currently a bit empty because, oops, because I did a lot of stuff. And I'm basically busy with like streaming and coaching right now, so usually when I improve something, like when I find something, I usually improve it pretty quickly because it's small things, but I gotta get like a bigger list. But essentially, this is how you should do it. You have your like three main states of gameplay. You have your neutral, your advantage, your disadvantage, and then you have things like just choose something which you generally struggle a lot in. For example, pressure in my case, that's a pretty big topic which you can divide pretty well as well. And no, Dara, you got a note, man. You got a note. You can't remember all of this. I promise. And then like divide it into more things basically. Make a bucket list, things like that. You can basically just say, yo, okay, I did this, like, or I'm practicing this right now, and I'm practicing like juggling if my opponent is on a platform, for example. And then when you play games, you can basically look at that and kind of remind yourself of what you're doing right now. Plus, if you did something, like if you finished something, you can delete it. Easy. Whoops. That way you will always have some progress going on, basically. And again, my list is pretty empty. This list can be very big. This actually leads us into two things. First of all, as you heard already, after labbing you gotta play, which is like the third point, or the third way of practice, which I mentioned at the start of the stream, like actively playing basically. And this is all very, very, very connected basically. Labbing leads into good playing, and good playing leads again into better labbing basically. It gives you replays and stuff like that. Plus, you already saw it, this thing here, this smart window basically. I'll actually make it a bit bigger so you can read it better. Oh, this is not what I want to do. This is something I just mugged from my coach, who mugged it from somewhere else. You can see where it is from down there, so yeah, no copyright strikes please. And everything you note down should come pretty close to these different things. You can screenshot this if you want to. You should specifically state what you're trying to do. Ideally, if it's something like, for example, ledge trapping, you should set a goal that is measurable. So that means, for example, you say, yo, I want to ledge trap my opponent like 3 times in a row per match, for example. That's measurable. Achievable? Well, that's something you can achieve, obviously. You don't say, okay, I'm gonna improve and then try to beat MK Leo with, like, I don't know, fucking Little Mac or something like that. You won't do that. So that's not achievable. So that's basically something that's not fulfilled. Then it should be relevant, which is obvious. You don't say, okay, I gotta practice ledge trapping if you literally ledge trap people to death already, right? And then time bound, this is important, which I don't have currently because I literally don't have the possibility to make a set time frame. You gotta say, okay, I want to do it until then. Until this specific day at this specific time. That's important, because if you don't do that, you'll basically just end up having this list and being like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I did it, and I did this thing, and I did that thing, and I achieved that, and then you basically delete it, but never really reflect on it, and then like 2 months later, you come into the same problem again, and you gotta work on it from scratch again. So this is why doing it all time bound in a specific time is super important. Otherwise, again, you'll end up with what I just described. When you hit the lab, when you start labbing, which is theory crafting essentially, preparing for your actual play sessions, your notes are basically where you're gonna spend your most time. Or, and this is basically where it becomes a little bit interesting, the training mode on your Switch. So that is something I have to kind of like advertise right here. And no, I'm not getting paid or anything, obviously, but basically get the training mode mod. Installing it is pretty easy. I fucking managed to install it, and I have literally no idea what I did. I fucking did it with tinfoil. Basically, mod your Switch. I won't encourage you to do it if you really don't want to, but it's really fucking good. And install the training mode mod, which is also not hard. And then you'll have such a good time labbing, basically. Because you can also lab in-game, of course. You can theoretically lab in-game. This is where it gets a bit shitty, because the base training mode is so bad that you realistically can't lab anything. Unless you do everything frame by frame, which is annoying as fuck, and I think it might be better to just play at that point if you're trying to lab new combos frame by frame. So getting the training mode mod would really help, because you have a gigantic list, like it's huge, of things you can basically set them to do. You can you can have save states, you can set DI, you can set SDI, you can set them to mesh certain options, you can set them to air dodge, you can set them to basically air dodge to the ground and then do something else, you can record inputs, and so on and so forth. So it's basically everything that should be in Smash, but isn't in Smash, because Nintendo is a great company, you know. But yeah, that is basically the one instance where you'll be spending more time in the game usually than in your notes, basically. But you should still note down what you learned right there, right in your monitor, basically. Let's look at that, for example. So let's just break down my notes a little bit when we're here already. Jesus Christ. So let's actually wait. My Pichu notes are gone. Where are my Pichu notes? Alright, we won't know. Okay. So, Meta Knight, for example. My main character. I broke down his neutral tools on page 1. Plus, on Pichu, which is a bit more recent, that's why it's a bit better, I actually put like the general game plan down there, which of course does change drastically even in some matchups, but generally you can like write it down at least somewhat. And basically put up all his neutral tools, and then, which I haven't done yet because I couldn't be bothered, then you basically write down what his advantage tools are in certain situations, and so on and so forth. So if you learn a new character, for example, you can actually have a good breakdown of what each move is supposed to do, basically. You can just read up on it, and you'll automatically think about it. Because the thing is, to be fair, I personally rarely look into my notes. That also has to do with my matchup notes being mostly pretty outdated, sadly. But personally, I don't look into my notes that much. But if you write it down, first of all, you like memorize it better. That's just basically the whole shit they say to you in school. But that's like the one thing that is actually true. And you automatically think about it a bit more because you spend more time with it. Because then you're not just like, ah, yeah, like Meta Knight dash attack hits people like running away, shit like that. No, it's a bit more complicated. And what I did then, I color coded it so I know what is used in mid range, that's the blue stuff here, and what is used in close range, the red stuff. And if something has like really good use in both scenarios, I basically color coded it like this, like in stripes basically. You do that if you want to learn a new character, for example. Now let's say for this scenario, for the specific one, you are a Lucina main who wants to learn the Palutena matchup. Random example. I just need something for the stream, am I right? Yeah, you play Lucina. So you do these notes first. Lucina is pretty simple. So you can write down your, my dash attack isn't that good, I should use pivot F tilt instead. Forward air is better, like falling than rising, and it hits both full hop, like it basically hits any approach they do, unless they hard commit to a full hop, which can go over it. Side B hits people coming towards me, so I can basically bait people like to approach and then side B them, for example, yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, definitely. Meta Knight definitely needs a speed buff. This character is slow as fuck. But imagine Meta Knight with Sonic run speed though. Wouldn't that be fun? But yeah, you basically make your base notes. These are what you go off of when you're analyzing anything, when you're trying to get a matchup, when you're practicing, when you're playing against other people, blah blah blah. This is basically the heart of everything you do. Simply because this is where you can basically say, yo, okay, this is what my character does. If you don't know what your character does, you're probably gonna get fucked. So, oops. Ah, I see why Pichu's missing. Oh no, some of these notes, like I haven't synchronized them yet because I usually do them on my tablet, so they're portable. Basically, that is how you start out learning a character, for example. Then let's actually let's actually go through the process of learning this matchup entirely, because I think that will be like visually just a bit better for you guys because you can just like let it sink in a bit easier. And let's analyze my matchup notes beforehand, because you're trying to learn a matchup, so you need matchup notes. Obviously, like each character has a lot of moves, a lot of different stuff they can do after these moves, etc. So yeah, you can't remember everything realistically. So let's look at my most recent notes. The other ones are incredibly outdated. These are my Squirtle notes that I made because I fucking hate Squirtle. Fuck this character. And I structured it in a very, very specific way, which you should definitely copy. And it isn't finished yet, and I also haven't started my short notes yet because I can't be asked to. But basically, what you want to start off with is neutral. This is where the match starts off. You start in true neutral. You have the same amount of stage, none of you realistically pressure the other. That's neutral. Then there are the other two states you enter, advantage and disadvantage, which are basically just give and take, you know. If you get hit, you're in a disadvantage. If you hit them, you're in an advantage. So those are important too. But the most important one, because this is literally the one that brings you from one state to the other, is neutral. So you start off with that one. And then, first of all, you think about, oops, what do I even want to do in this matchup? Like, when the game starts, what do I want to do? Because if you don't know what to do, you can't really play out your advantage, right? Because you can't hit them. So, that's where you basically start off with your game plan, in neutral. And then you say stuff like, yeah, I don't really interact with Squirtle, for example, because he can mash after, like hell, basically. But we also know Squirtle has a bit of trouble covering, whoops, covering like full hops, short hops, basically angle mix-ups. So if you come from further above or from horizontally, he has a bit of trouble covering that because all of his aerials basically. Wait, where's his aerials? There's his aerials. They look like this. They just go straight ahead or like with no disjoint a bit above him or straight behind him or just nowhere basically. So I already know if I like come from up here, like where my mouse is, I can beat him. So I want to abuse my angles in this matchup. F tilt is super good. Okay, that's what they mainly use, so I should probably write that down. Don't do that. I also know my Nair is safe on shield on them, but they can mash so much that I'm basically in a 50-50 after, so I gotta be mindful of that. I should probably land with fair rather. So immediately, like, fair is really good, because it's bigger, it hits their movement better than Nair, and they also can't out of shield me easily unless I hit, like, land behind them. And they have strong damage output, so I should probably watch out for like reversal situations. That's what I want to do neutral. That's basically what I'm looking for. Then we start to break down. Footsies, so mid-range basically. I just call it footsies because I play footsies in mid-range. Long range, which is where Squirtle really doesn't do much, and we got short range. Basically, footsies range is at mid-range where most of the characters have like one or two moves that can hit each other. So for Meta Knight, that's like landing forward air, and dash attack, and dash grab basically. And short range is where everything hits, and long range is where like Link throws his boomerang, for example. Yeah, and you basically sort of analyze these things. So you look at the different tools that they have. You already have your tools written down right here. So now you basically got to do the same thing, but a bit more concise for your opponent. So you can actually start like looking into them. So we got F tilt. F tilt is insanely annoying, so I put that as like number one. You basically write down what it does, and then write down how you beat it. And I actually didn't do that for F tilt. It's not disjointed, so just beat the angle. So F tilt goes super linearly. So actually, let's just check ultimate frame data to be sure. Come on. Yeah, it basically just goes straight ahead. It doesn't really reach anywhere, so I want to jump over it, for example. So how do I beat squad left tilt? Not out of shield. Jump over it. It's safe on shield, right? Okay, then look at dash attack. That's something they'll probably use. Look at forward air, up air, and so on and so forth. And you go through their kit like that. Then you start comparing, basically. This is where I can write stuff down, like where you can basically add stuff in your game plan, or where you can basically start adding stuff for all the moves if you don't really know how to beat them. Like something a lot of people struggle with is Palutena Becker. If we already have that, so you basically got Palutena Becker, and we want to work around that. We can't go through it with attack, so we will have to wait, or we can come from above, for example. So that's how we beat Palutena Becker. Again, just Palutena. Whoops. Yeah, I got a new keyboard, and I'm a bit too stupid to write on it yet. So we just go to Palutena's ultimate frame data page, and we look at her aerials. Come on. Start up. Yep. Back out. Okay, that's pretty big. So we should bro. Ah. That's pretty big. Oh, that's actually huge. What the fuck? So we know, okay, this is pretty big. Coming from above is a bit hard. From below might be a chance, but they usually land with it, so it's probably best that we just respect it. Okay, bam, add that to your notes. And just go through the list, basically. Then we come into the interesting part. A lot of you people want to be at, basically. And now it basically comes to gameplay. You lab your stuff, you wrote down a base of your, like, a base matchup, you wrote down your notes, stuff like that. You can check if you forget something. And then you start playing. Now, how do you play efficiently now? Because this is what a lot of people want to know. If you're learning a matchup, you look at their tools. You try to basically try to see how does your kit interact with their tools. Did the stuff you write down actually work out or didn't? or didn't it, etc., etc. And you basically go through your entire matchup list and basically set mental notes that worked, that didn't work, that worked, and so on. Oh, we're already streaming for 40 minutes, nice. And you basically go through everything, and then after each game, revise. Habits, write down habits. Things like, I don't know, all the Wi-Fi inklings do roller out of disadvantage. Write that down. Be prepared for it next time, etc., etc. And that way your notes will get longer and longer, and you'll have more and more answers for your like for the next time you fight them. And this leads us back into the first part, basically, of solo practice and the Pomodoro, where we basically stated that people can't really increase their mental capacity. The reason why top players can play for so much longer is simply because they have more experience, they know more situations, so they don't have to spend as much mental resources to basically get out of those situations. That's exactly what you're doing right now. You're doing it super efficiently because, first of all, you're writing it down. Second of all, you're actually thinking about it actively. And third of all, you're doing it like you're actually focusing on it, meaning you actively try to look for it. So you'll of course be way faster than if you would just play the game and just focus on winning. And this is something where I want to like throw in some mentality. When you're practicing, which is literally every time you play Smash outside of any like competition or you fucking around, you don't want to win. That is not the point. You are playing the game simply because you want to win next tournament, right? Because you can't really tell me that you don't want to come into like grand finals or top 3 of your next tournament. You don't want to do that, but instead you want to beat this random ass like Link main 69 420 on quick play. I don't believe that. So use the time you actually spend with the game outside of tournament solely for practice, and your only goal and your only real thing to strive for should be improvement. That is way better for your mentality. It is way better for your efficiency, and it's just a lot more chill if you want to practice because you actually do practice and don't get mad at bullshit. Basically, that is the most important thing you should take away from this. Whoops, I just made a sound. Okay, so you labbed it. You play with people now, and you play the Lucina Palutena matchup, which we basically used as an example, and we looked at their tools. So there's still one more variable, right? There are players that are better, there are players that are worse, and there are players on your level. And someone basically asked me in Discord, what should I do? Like, which level should I fight when improving? And how should I fight them? You should fight all of them. Even if you're MK Leo, you'll probably see it. Oh, yay! Super follow me. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So, even if you're like Leo or something, you should still play with low tier garbage people, basically. Because it gives you basically time to just test out all your new stuff. You're not too pressured because like you just aren't, because you'll win anyways. So you can practice your new combos a lot more efficiently because you can like hyper focus on them. You can practice all your pressure. You can practice like baiting, etc., etc. That's basically big boy practice down, and you'll get a lot of opportunities to basically use your knowledge because people like this just simply do a lot more, like just fuck up more, right? Then there are players on the same level as you. This is where I actually try to test your skill, but again, all in the name of practice. So this is where you usually want to start saving replays, but it's not ideal yet. But you basically, this is where you gather experience for the most part, right? Because you can do a lot of stuff, but your opponent can also do a lot of stuff, and you're kind of on the same page. So both of you really gotta play well to make stuff happen. And then there's better players, like really good players, and these are the ones you usually avoid, right? Because, or like you suck that dick, I don't know how you are, but basically these guys will fuck you up, and that's important because that is where you get your replays from. unless you literally got 3 stocked in like 1 minute or something like that. You should save every replay where you lose, which will be most of them. Oops. I almost fell down. Simply because they exploit any weakness you have. Any small thing you do wrong, they will probably exploit it. So you'll literally get, yeah, like you'll get way more information out of each replay you look at if you got fucked by a high level player than anything you got by playing like that random mid-level Palutena that basically always goes 0-2 at your tournament, right? Because you'll simply see a lot more things, or like obviously see a lot more things you do wrong, which again is easier for you because if you don't know how to properly analyze yet, you can just count your mistakes, you can just count where you got hit. Also, hey Super, and yeah Dyer, we definitely need to play again. I know, connection is wonky, but this is basically where you obviously see these things, so you should like try to every now and then, not all the time, because that's no use, because you don't get time to actively practice your stuff, because you just end up getting wrecked. This is where you basically have an easy time gathering information about your mishaps, and that is why you should fight everybody, not just players at your level or worse or better. Everyone, literally every single one has its benefits, and let's just assume, like in our example with the Palutena and Lucina, we're doing that basically. So we now see, okay, for example, in this certain, oh, somebody wrote something. Okay, a question though on what Rams is just dropped. How do you play optimal and methodical? Okay, so this is actually a really good question because I can fit that into this whole thing pretty well. So let's actually say you're trying to play that matchup. You're trying to play learn Lucina and Palutena, and you fought low-level players, you fought high-level players, you fought mid-level players, or like someone above, below, and at your level. Yeah, you gathered information, and let's say you just finished getting wrecked by some really good dude, like by some really good Palutena, and you save those replays and you look at them. So now you can basically have a shit ton of resources now, and see, okay, this is where I got punished, this is where I misplayed. This is where I misplayed due to not knowing the matchup, and this is where I basically did something wrong. And Palutena specifically could exploit it really well. This last thing is really important. This is basically what makes or breaks certain matchups, because some characters just have an easier time doing certain things than other characters, right? So now you basically know that Palutena can go through shit with her back air, for example, so she can punish defense really well and basically force you to move around more, for example. So now you know, if you really want to play around that, if you want to play the matchup optimally and methodically, which is basically using the good options with thought behind them, now you can do that because now you have the information on how to deal with one of her main tools, which again you get by asking questions again. Everything in improvement is just asking questions constantly, basically. So if you want to truly play a matchup or a player or just the game, whatever, really well, you gotta analyze it. And then you gotta ask, why did that work? How could I do that? Then you practice it actively until you can basically do it in autopilot. That is basically the process of improvement. I did a stream on that, but that is lost in Twitch's great VOD saving system, which deletes VODs, right? But yeah, if you want to play more optimally and more methodically, actually look at what they're doing, what they can do, what you're doing, what you can do, and then think about that for a while. Just find out what is good, what is bad, what is common, what is uncommon, and then you basically get this whole host of things which are methodical and optimal. And now here comes the important part. You don't literally have to stick to your matchup notes the entire time. Your matchup notes are the methodical, the optimal part. Rams is basically divided people into methodical and instinctive players. Instinctive players being more like unorthodox, doing weird stuff like Marsh, for example, and methodical basically being think of MKLeo. He just does the optimal stuff basically. Like roughly, of course, it's a bit more complex than that, but what this basically gives you is a methodical baseline, a good optimal, objectively good baseline. Yes, M2K is literally the methodical player, um, from which you can basically go off of and do some crazy stuff with. So you can basically get your super optimal game plan and your super optimal tool analysis. So now, you, like for example, if you see that Squirtle left you the entire time, you now know how to properly deal with it and get the most damage out of it. And you can now use that to do some weird stuff. So you, for example, if you don't know if they'll F-tilt or not, you can go for the safe option, but if you know that they probably will run towards you, you can go for some weird cross-up, mix-up, for example, and get stage control and so on and so forth. So now you can basically play with that knowledge really well. And that is all your nodes are. They are basically just your baseline, so you know roughly what to do, and you can then expand on them. And this is where we then start getting into higher levels, basically. Properly analyzing is a topic for another day. So because Super just asked that in case you missed it, but like my high tech stream shows that right here. Analyzing well is subjective, first of all, because everybody thinks differently about what is good, what is bad, etc. And there is a lot that goes into it. But basically, what it boils down to is you want to know your concepts, you want to know how to break down neutral, and then just apply that. Basically, look at that and say, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see that they're playing footsies right now, and he's trying to get them to do something, and is waiting a lot, so he's probably looking for a poke because he wants to make them approach, and so on and so forth. And then you basically just logic your way through it. It's literally knowing some stuff and then using logic, and you can analyze. That's literally it. So, but yeah, you don't need that, because if you don't know your concept yet, you can still teach yourself, and you can still like objectively get a better game plan by just counting where you got it. I literally do it sometimes because yes, I could analyze my replays super in depth and like think super hard about them for hours, or I could just literally count where I got hit and where I played stupid and just get to fixing that sooner, right? Will there be some kind of VOD of this? You please now? Yeah, of course. I'll say it's gonna be on Twitch for a few days, and I'm gonna upload every stream from now onto my YouTube. I will actually put a link. I actually don't know how to do that. Maybe I'll get a bot or something like that. But I'll just wait. I'll just drop my YouTube in here real quick so you can catch it. Also, there's some old ass gameplay from myself. So yeah, just ignore that. I'm a lot better now, I promise. There's also the footsie spot on there. Footsie's highlight. And that is my YouTube channel. Go follow it in case you want to rewatch these VODs or something like that. And yeah, you can just do the basic things. You can do the orthodox basic things, which is just how your notes should be, and improve upon those. Literally, that's it. Now, because I'm not sure if I covered everything right now, I'll actually like give you some time to read. And you guys can totally ask more questions, by the way. Because if you want to know something specific, then I'm here right now. Okay, so specifics. How to be efficient? We did that. We did that. We did that as well. Okay. Yes, well, we basically went down through the entire list, but somebody asked me, especially about solo practice, how you should practice specific things. So the things mentioned were movement, combos, neutral, advantage, disadvantage, basically. And they just wanted to have some pointers on that, basically. So let's start off with movement. Movement is a bit wacky because technically what movement is, you basically should just move to get from one good position to another good position. Don't just move for moving randomly, like for the sake of moving. So think about how you can mix up how you get to certain positions. Predictable movement is also an opening, right? If you always do an aerial and then dash back, your opponent can overshoot and hit your dash back. Simple. So you now want to basically find out how can I mix that up. Like I want to give them some space. So I land an aerial, and then for example you say, okay, there's a platform above me. Let's say you're ledge trapping someone on, I don't know, Battlefield. And now you say, okay, I'm shield pressuring them with an aerial, and I don't want to dash back afterwards, so instead I'll wave land on the platform, and then I'll react to if they basically try to hit me with a burst option. Ah, okay, they're trying to do that, so now I'll down air. And you just do that basically, you just go from the, go onto the platform and then try to do some mix-ups or like combos or whatever, and just do that until it becomes muscle memory. Again, like, the whole experiencing situations to then do them easier situation basically we had beforehand, and you just do that with your movement. The same as with combos, I already mentioned that. And neutral advantage, disadvantage, again, I can just like get the training mode mod, it helps a lot with that. Or you can do that in a match, which is where you're mainly gonna be doing that. And you'll basically just try and create that situation you're trying to basically practice. If you're practicing ledge trapping, instead of comboing them and juggling them, just throw them off stage, right? Things like that. Those are some small handy tips, basically. Try to force a certain situation. And yes, no, I don't know if I'll be able to play a lot today, but I'll probably have time tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'll hit you up, Dire, don't worry. I do want to play you again as well. But yeah, basically, you try to force your situations when you're actively playing people, mainly against better and like basically against everyone, pretty much. And then you just go through your notes. Don't try new things in your sessions. Only try the things you actually wrote down, unless it's something super obvious that you maybe missed. Simply because usually you'll start fucking up, and you'll basically just develop bad muscle memory and things like that. And then you just go down your list and basically try to find out what works when. And that's basically just comes down back to WOD review. It's literally a gigantic circle. Everything leads back into each other. So this stream actually went on for less time than I thought, but it went on. God damn it, I can't talk today. But it went on for a pretty good time already. So what we could do now is we could actually go through this sort of practice scenario. So the whole Palutena versus Lucina matchup from the perspective of Lucina, and basically create matchup notes for those, which kind of incorporate everything, right? We could do that for practice. Do you guys want to do that, or do you think you'll manage on your own? Because that will be a lot of time, and I don't know if I'll be able to fully do it, because this takes a bit of time. Yeah, for example, short hopping. A lot of people struggle with short hopping without a macro, so that's something you can totally do. Just go into training mode, practice short hopping, set a goal 30 times in a row in this case, and then just go do short hops, go to short hop fast fall, go to like drift with it, stuff like that, and then just try to get your goal. Do your pomodoros to stay effective and to stay efficient, and you'll be set. Simple as that. Bot review. What do you mean? Like random bot review, or bot review, or like basically creating full matchup notes on Lucina versus Palutena, or what do you mean? Actually, okay, so I haven't really done that ever. So let me just try that out. Straw poll with our like 5 viewers. um, um, what are we gonna do now? Answer options. What analysis from you guys? I guess. Uh, or uh, alright, by direct link. Great. What? Okay. Let's see if this works. I'll just drop it in chat. Um, click on that. Yeah, this is so weird. Click on that link, and yeah, click on that link, and you'll find a straw poll, and we'll basically go through like whatever wins, I guess. We got 6 views, so 6 of you guys have a voice, and I'll just have that running for a bit. Actually, can't I pull that like straw poll? Wait, auto refresh. Yes, of course, auto refresh. No, that's not what you're supposed to vote on, guys. um, Lucina versus Palos. That was one Lucina. I actually don't fully know. I'm guessing it's probably +1 Palutena, or like pretty even, simply because like Palu can deal with Lucina's spacing pretty well by just doing back air through all of her stuff, basically, and she can contest her at long range because Lucina literally doesn't have any long range tools. Also, edge guarding Palutena is a bit hard for Lucina. She does like juggle her pretty well, but then again, Palutena also has teleport, so that's also not a huge deal. So I'm guessing it's probably favorable for Palutena, but I'm not sure yet. But Lucina can of course like deal with Palutena now really well, simply due to having a sword. Also, you guys should probably vote because otherwise someone has got to basically send me a VOD on YouTube, and yeah. I'll give you like 2 more minutes, something like that. Go vote. Otherwise, we'll do something random nobody wants to do. So here's your chance. Auto refresh again. Yeah. Nobody? Really? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes. Lucina does have good ledge trapping, but like there's still a shit ton of other things. And Lucina can pretty much ledge trap every character, right? Except for stuff like Meta Knight, where she basically has to think a bit more, but not much. So, eh. We fit with Palu. Okay, so I'm not actually too super fit. I know, pun. On Wii Fit, so I can try. I'm pretty confident, but if someone else has something, I don't know. Let's just run down. But I think you're the only one actually typing in chat right now, so yeah, totally. All right, just fling me your whoops, that's just got. Just fling me your replay on like per Discord. Ideally on YouTube because I don't have the time to like film or anything. I have back pain. Jesus Christ. I'm a small fuck, but I still have back pain. Ah, yeah, but I really like this new thing. I'm gonna get a logo soon as well, and I'm gonna get something like for the background of the chat because it's been annoying seeing all the stuff with your colored names. But yeah, this whole thing will hopefully start getting some traction. Viewers are going up, and yeah, I got some new ideas for logos and shit like that. And at some point, once I open Patreon, which I plan to do, and once I have my PayPal, so I can accept tips, basically, I'll start actually getting like layouts made and shit like that. Because right now I'm doing everything on my own, and it looks like shit. Okay, Dara sent me his bot. Nice. I just gotta turn down that sound. Awesome. So that's one bot. I'm guessing that's from online, right? See. So, is that from like a online match, or where did you get that from? Also, I can't like I really need a second screen actually. Jesus Christ. Right, will you answer? Or no? Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. So him with Mikamura and Wi-Fi. All right. So yeah, reacting to stuff's gonna be hard, but let's actually look at this. Also, I I gotta show that off now. I got my new RGB light up bullshit loud as fuck mechanical keyboard today from Logitech. Yeah, I know. And it's a fucking blast, man. I just had to show that off. Plus, my webcam is brand new. I literally bought them like 2 hours ago, just for you guys. Okay, the last match of his best of five. Yeah, so I'll what the plan would be now. I would analyze this match, and then I'll then I'll probably end the stream because I still got some school stuff to do, and I need to phone with my girlfriend as well, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm actually surprised by that. It doesn't have automatic focus. It's got manual focus sadly, but like I don't move that much, so that's all right. The only thing where it could get a bit difficult is when I actually have a panel back here, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna go through your bot. I'm gonna give you some pointers. I won't do an in-depth analysis of this because I literally don't. I don't want to, and I don't have the time for that right now. So yeah, let's get started. Are you all ready? Okay. By the way, can we talk about how fucking annoying and big that go sign is? You can't see shit. So, first thing you do is you go off stage. So I know why you do that, because that's what Refit generally likes to do, right? But I don't agree with it at all. Refit players do that, but it's not something you should do all the time. So what happens usually is you see a Refit, and the first thing they do is they literally run off stage, just like you, and they don't contest center stage, or they don't contest you at all. They just give you access to the full stage, and a ledge trap situation basically. And the trade-off is that they can be a bit annoying with their side B, and they probably get like the is it down B? Yeah, and they get that down B basically. So deep breathing. But they lost the entire stage and are now in the ledge trap situation against Palutena, who will fuck you up so hard for that. Plus, you literally didn't have to work for that. Yeah. Wii Fit is better than a lot of characters, basically better than any character on the ledge, but Wii Fit is still on the ledge. Like you're still hanging on the ledge. You're still in a pressure situation. You're in complete disadvantage. You still want to avoid that. You're just a bit better at being in a shit situation, basically. So yeah, you did that, and probably will get nope. Okay, so what the Palutena player did there is super stupid. Let's actually say that. When that's trapping, you want to do multiple save options. Dash attack isn't safe, and it's a huge commitment, and it only really punishes one option. So you just got off stage for free there. He should have punished you though. You shouldn't have gone off stage there. You should have eaten 50% for that. Dash attack you again. Okay, he's smashing a bit. So you go for some space. What do you do? Okay, after okay, you do two dashbacks. Right there, you can already like throw a projectile or something like that. You went, but instead you went back again. I'm assuming you tried to bait him to come towards you, but you gotta be careful against that. So he shielded, and you went back in. I'm assuming you reacted to the shield, but let's picture that situation. Um, what? Okay. So you saw him shield, and you were dashing away right now. By the time you would dash back in, jump, and land on him with a nair, he probably wouldn't have been shielding anymore because you just started the match, and you did play matches beforehand, but it is unclear whether you actually conditioned him to hold shield or not. So going for this right here is a bit wacky. You should do that more in the middle of the game, basically. So yeah, you try that. You went for trade. You should always be careful when trying to bait approaches and punishing them in return by basically giving up and taking stage away again against Palutena, because she can literally back out through your stuff. It is incredibly brain dead. Oh wow, 6 minute game. What the fuck? It is incredibly brain dead for the Palutena player if you try to bait her or something like that, because they can just, they don't care, right? So you traded, you went back the whole way again. This is something we're gonna see a lot right here, I'm assuming. You give her way too much stage. He literally doesn't have any respect for you right now because he can just run at you the entire time. Okay, conditioning jump. Tried to do something there, but it didn't work out. Up air would have been the better choice there because they jumped after all. Got center. What are you gonna do? Dash back again. Okay. You're pressing a lot of buttons right here, which I don't really. It's not bad per se, but you should take a breather. So that up tilt. Why did you up tilt? Just react to like where they land basically. Throwing that. Treat it. Nair, up air. So both of you are kind of trying to react to stuff that you can't react to. You can abuse the shit out of that and like do a rising forward air, drift back, and then just grab him trying to like forward air you or something like that. That's a super good bait you could do right here because he will be falling for it, right? Okay, safe back air. You try to grab him, which is stupid. You don't try to, or no, you try to drop shield and dash at him. I see why you did that because he retreated a lot, but well, okay, it's difficult because this isn't game 1, this is game 5 or game 3 or whatever. So it's not. I'm not sure what he did before this, but obviously he's trying to build some. It's Wi-Fi predictions, so they miss a lot. No. You can still be pretty accurate with them. It's just a bit harder and more inconsistent, but not that much. But yeah, you try to do something out of shield with a Palutena back air hitting you. Usually you don't want to do that unless you know that they'll move back, which was a good guess in this case, but didn't work out. But generally, that is a mix-up. Usually you want to be defensive because Palutena Bear is just so good on shield. Yeah, going back off stage, expanding your double jump. He is constantly trying to do back air into something burst option to grab you, which doesn't work at all. Nice, going for the juggle. Okay, you gave him too much space right here. Look at his drift when you juggle. Okay, he jumped away, drifting back in. So, what can you do now? You want to keep center when juggling, and you don't want to let them land. There's a platform which they can land on and mix up their timing, but you have pretty good tools to pressure them with your side B, because that is pretty awesome on field. So, what do? You dash back. You let them just land for free. You give them all the space, and they fast fall, so they could land super quickly and even throw out an aerial, and your ball still won't hit them. You try to go for a mix-up, but that was not good because while you okay wait that too much English today. You tried to go for a mix-up, which could have worked out nicely, of course, but at the same time you could have just gone for the safe option and still pressured him and had him in corner, and would have probably made him have a really bad time trying to land and gotten like 20, 30, 40% maybe even off of that. And instead you tried to go for a random mix-up and got punished. Keep the pressure up. Try to keep them from center. Basically cut a line. He's proficient in the teleport cancels. Alright, okay. But you gotta... Okay, so this is something that is important for characters with a movement like this. You need to know their spacings. From where they can teleport cancel, for example. As far as I know, Palutena can't teleport cancel from this range here, because she's a tad too close. You would have been safe right here. This is a bit difficult, but it's something you definitely have to learn against Palutena. Okay, what do you do? Again, going back off stage and he punishes you for it. Going high, okay. This is scary. You see why I don't think that you should go off stage all the time? That was a bit stupid. You can react to that if she does that high up. That is super reactable. Just go for a soft punish. No need for F smashes yet. They might kill, but at the same time, you're just basically sacrificing more potential damage just to get a chance of a kill, basically. So go for the safe stuff. Again, going off stage. You are so fucking lucky, man. Because this guy doesn't really know how to let trap. You should have been dead already, man. Okay, trying to contest her with your tilts, which is something you don't really want to do because you're refit, right? You don't have disjoints. Constantly doing that ball. If she can go off stage and punish you for that, yep, you're getting punished right now. Okay, yeah, again, this literally only works because he didn't ledge trap. You've rolled 2 times in a row. Okay, this time going low, that's good. Yep, you rolled 3 times in a row, that's a small habit. You never use your jumps, or you rarely at least use your jumps to actually force them to act immediately. Jumps are unreactable, abuse the shit out of that. Again, F smashes, you're doing the same thing, you're hard committing to an option, which might get a lot of reward, but at the same time, it has a really high chance of not giving you any reward. Your up tilt has invincibility, so I should be using that more. Well, okay. Oops. It does have invincibility, but let's look at the hitbox. Because I actually literally don't know that. Refit. Up tilt. It's actually huge. Okay, okay, I can see that. Thing is, it hits straight above you. It's an anti-air, right? You want to use up tilt once she starts jumping. It's basically your anti-air and call out jumps or full hop pressure move, basically. He hasn't been full hopping yet. Or at least not really. He's just been going for options and short hopping and basically doing stuff like that. It beats Palonair and Robnair. Holy shit. Okay, what happened there? Ah, okay. Okay, I like that. Didn't work out, sadly. Yeah, both of you are pretty hard committing right now. Conditioning shield, I like that. Well, okay, so that right there was a bit mindless. You don't just want to dash dance. Every time you dash dance, you want to actively bait something. What Leo does is when he dash dances, is he basically goes from baiting one option into the other. Because everything you do automatically causes people to want to do one thing instinctively. If you're standing far away, people want to jump or neutral get up. If you're standing super close, they'll want to get up attack or roll. And he's basically constantly cycling through these options, covering the one he just baited. That's what Leo's doing. What you're doing is you're just dash dancing for the sake of moving. And you got punished for it. Simple. Yeah, he's trying to call you out. You can use that to your advantage now by just going instantly to, like, going over him, punishing him for like in his end like stuff like that. But you're still doing the side B out of disadvantage, which he can fuck up pretty strongly. If he does double jump up air or double jump back air, he'll go through it. So be careful. Okay. Yep. Both of you are fucking up right now. I'm assuming that's Wi-Fi. Again, going for the hard callouts, and that got you punished right there. You died for it. Okay, nice. Nice, you're pressuring now at least. That's improvement. Okay. Yeah, you're a bit hungry for the kill. That down tilt. Um, so he's been attacking a lot more recently. Like ledge drop nair because you've been dash dancing before and you stood there without shield. Another nair, another nair. So what he's doing, which is a bit far fetched, but he isn't really reacting much, which you can see by his like side beats to the wrong direction and stuff like that. He's reacting, he's predicting, and he's predicting that he'll hit with stuff. So if he does one nair, what does Palutena generally do if she nairs you? Yes, more nair. So you could have probably predicted right there that he's gonna nair again and just held shield and roll out of the situation, but you didn't. Yeah, okay, fuck it, you got off lightly. Yep, that was the up tilt. Right, charging that up. Going back to the ledge. Okay, why did that do so much damage? Wait. Okay, so that ball had a hitbox, and your fucking side B did 33%. Oh, neutral B, I mean. Alright. Okay, that was extremely mashy. If you try to platform pressure, don't just do like rising nair, rising nair, rising nair. It's the same with people that like play Lucina or Palutena and just do jump up air, jump up air, jump up air. Trying to, so pressure is only really pressure if you like shield pressure at least, if you actually pressure their shield hard enough in a specific time frame, and if you mix it up so you're somewhat unpredictable. Because if you always do jump nair, jump nair, jump nair, I'll just wait for the second nair and then just full hop out of there. If you do like jump and then falling nair into up tilt, for example, it's just timing mix-ups, I'm suddenly under a lot more pressure because now my shield just doesn't drain naturally, basically. It doesn't drain at a constant rate, and you're seeming more unpredictable. So I'm automatically, at least subconsciously, more pressure. Yep, you got punished for that again. Yeah, you gotta learn your spacing. Trying to hit them where isn't going. He's been staying in center stage a lot. Yep, nair through that again. If you're getting so, what he's doing basically, you can bait him pretty well. Wait, back hit F tilt kills. Oh, okay. What he's doing right now, if he notices that you stay back, is he waits a tad and shields your stuff, and then he gets annoyed and just runs at you with moves. Bait that. Beat the angle of that, dude. Like full hop over him. Bait another option because you probably can't punish her first. Her primary option, which I like to call it. And like fall back down, double jump to bait their secondary option, as for example an out of shield grab or something like that, and then just downhill them. You can abuse the shit out of that. Oh, that was actually good. A bit risky. That was a bit wonky. Okay, approach him. You literally just got the entire stage. You can also pressure like from somewhere else. You also have to keep in mind that her side B probably hits you trying to do your side B. You're playing a dangerous game right there. Okay, back there. Nice, going for the pressure. Again, you shot your ball, so you already have some time to advance on him because he has to keep shielding. Like, he has to keep shielding to not get hit by the ball. So you can move up on him. It's free pressure. You can even hit the ball again maybe, and I don't know, some stuff like that. Okay, yeah, you're doing a lot of rising aerials into immediate grounded option. That's baitable. Just reacted to that, but that's you panicking a bit as well. Because I personally think that you're not you're not good. Well, not good, but you're not. What's the fucking word? God damn it. You're not comfortable playing at like footsie's range. You're not comfortable brawling, and that is not necessarily a character thing. Because yes, Wii Fit of course is a bit better as Zona, but you totally have the tools to play close range as well. And you gotta get comfortable with that because most characters simply play close to mid range, right? So go figure. Upgrade your mid range game a bit. Learn footsies, stuff like that. Because otherwise you wouldn't like do these random aerials into F tilts anymore. Especially because Palutena can just dash attack through that. He hasn't been doing that, but technically she can. Nice, I like that parry. You kind of messed that up. You should have just landed. Your main priority in a disadvantage is getting back to the ground as fast as possible, basically. What you did right there is you instinctively went off stage again, and then you noticed that and were like, oh shit, I'm off stage again. I wanted to get into a better situation because he's there to pressure me, and then you jumped back onto the platform. So you literally went from bad to worse to the same bad again. Recovering, yeah, he's bad. Again, calling out your options with Becca. He's been covering jump and like neutral get up a lot, so you should be prepared for that. Rolls are really good against him. Wah, cracking with my back. Wah. Yep. Jesus Christ. Okay. You see? He punished it this time. Yeah, my turret's coming through. Okay, that shield pokes. Good to know. Now I know why you're doing those all the time. But this shouldn't become a habit. Because, while yes, the F tilt is good and all, because you get a great guaranteed shield poke pretty much, you can also turn around, grab it, get a combo off of that. Or, like, do another nair, like, landing nair, and just get huge damage out of that. This way you just get an F tilt. Optimize your, like, your punishes a bit, and your shield pressure especially. I made literal flow charts for shield pressure to get me started. I can actually show them after. Mashing, okay. Like mashing attack out of disadvantage, I mean, that's okay. You're trying to cover jump right now, but he's staying grounded again. He just adapted to that. That's not necessarily you doing something wrong. But you can totally get a feel for when he does adapt, and yeah, just be one step ahead of him, of course. Okay, got the weird hitbox. Why do you always do these? Yes, the spike is good, but at the same time you're committing super hard, and you really don't need that spike to kill her right now. You can literally just back her. Yeah, okay. Did you just teabag him? Okay. Nice. Yeah, I see what you tried to do there, but your auto shield isn't that great. Oh, he's going for the fancy stuff. Again, he's at 0. Why do you F smash? Just nair him, get a combo. F smash was literally the worst choice right there. Again, that F tilt, not safe on shield. He has been shielding a lot when you started like going into the air or like landing in general. Just grab him. Okay, yeah, you grab him right now. You probably can go do more back airs and stuff like that. No, because he won't be shielding that much anymore. And you keep going for those F smashes. I don't get it. Was it missing foot? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just grab him. Okay, roll. If he turns around, he's looking for the roll. Again. Yeah, there you saw how she goes through your stuff with dash attack. I like that. I like that. You put yourself into a platform. That's something you can practice via movement. Like via movement drills, basically. Careful, careful. She's contesting you now. Or he, I don't know. Close. Yeah, you got that F tilt, alright. Oh, I see what you're trying to do there. Did you win this or? Yes, that's a bit better, but dash attack is still super committal because you put yourself into the corner. What was that? Oh, I'm feeling so professional with my loud clicky ass keyboard. That was hitbox. That was wonky. That was a wonky hitbox. Nice drifting back to center, that's good pressure. Drifted back a little bit too far, gave him a bit too much space, but the idea was there. Barely survived that. Yep. I just wanted to say you were gonna do that side B, but I forgot what a side B was called. Yep. True. Obvious. But he didn't adapt, so it's okay. That killed. Alright, that was super close. You did a lot of bullshit, but he also did a lot of bullshit. Yeah, basically, you want to clean up. First of all, you want to look a little bit more at what they do. You want to clean up your close range and your footsies. And you do want to try to be a bit more of a step ahead of them, because that's your game plan in general as a zoner. You want to wall them out, right? And just abuse what they do wrong a bit more. And you often didn't you often miss those small things, like him turning around, like turning around and shielding to actually get your roll. You didn't really notice that, so you just gotta get a bit more awareness. But like for the most part, you played pretty good. Like, yeah, that's okay. Awesome. So that was all we were gonna do today. I'm really gonna end it right now. Again, I'm just gonna put that into chat again in case anyone wants to like subscribe. I'll put all of my VODs on my YouTube channel. So if you want to view them afterwards, and if you didn't catch everything, then just click on there. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. We actually hit like 10 views for the first time today, and I really appreciate you being here. And I'm actually glad that this webcam works so well, and the quality is also pretty nice. So all good. Oh no, I messed up my hand more than I wanted to do. All right, yeah, but thanks for checking out, everyone. We're pretty close to 50 subs. I think actually that, not subs, follows. I think actually something messed up a bit because we should have 37 right now, if I remember correctly. But I can fix that. Thanks everyone for checking this out, and I'll see you next time. Also, down there, this is weird. Down there is my Discord in case you don't have me on Discord already. Send me a friend request and we can do coaching. We can do one-on-one coaching on stream. We can do a bot review, everything. Just send me stuff. Send me stuff on Twitter. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.